This video is on the dopamine game rigged against you. Let's dive right in. Hey, what's up? Welcome. I'm Dr. TJ, a Harvard-trained surgeon and a motivational speaker. In this channel, it is all about you. Right now, as you watch this, you're playing a game. But here's the thing, the game is rigged. The deck is stacked, the odds are against you, and the house always wins. Unless you know the game is rigged. But before we go further, if this message hits you, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. Subscription is free, it costs you nothing, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this truth, because what I'm about to expose could change everything. Let me ask you something. How many times today did you check your phone without even thinking? How many times did you open an app you didn't mean to open? How many times did you tell yourself just 5 minutes and lose an hour of your life? Welcome to the dopamine game, and I'm here to tell you it's rigged against you. Every algorithm, every notification, every carefully engineered feature, they're all designed to make you lose. But today you're going to learn how they rigged it and how to beat them at their own game. The dopamine game explained. Let me show you how they rigged the game. Inside your brain, there's a daily battle between two forces. In one corner, you've got your prefrontal cortex, your modern brain. This is your CEO, your strategist, the part of you that sets goals, delays gratification, and thinks long term. This is the part that wants to build something meaningful. In the other corner, you've got your limbic system, your primitive brain. This is your caveman, your survival mechanism. It doesn't care about your dreams, it cares about right now. It wants pleasure, it wants safety, it wants a path of least resistance. And here's the problem, the limbic system is screaming at you all day long while your prefrontal cortex is trying to whisper reason. Now in a fair fight, you'd have a chance. Your prefrontal cortex could build discipline, strengthen over time, and eventually win. But here's how they rig the game. Billion-dollar companies have hired neuroscientists, psychologists, and engineers to study your limbic system like it's a laboratory animal. They've mapped every trigger, every weakness, every vulnerability. And then they've built weapons specifically designed to hijack your primitive brain. Infinite scroll? That's not an accident. That's a weapon. Autoplay next video? Weapon. Red notification badges? Weapon. People you may know? Weapon. They've turned your phone into a slot machine. Every swipe is a pull of the lever. Every notification is a jackpot. And just like a casino, the game is mathematically rigged to keep you playing. The dopamine game is rigged because they are targeting your weakest player, your limbic system, your caveman brain, with billion-dollar precision, while your prefrontal cortex doesn't even know it's in a fight. You scroll, they win. You binge, they win. You procrastinate, they win. And every time you lose a round, they make money. Every time you give in to cheap dopamine, someone else's bank account grows while your potential shrinks. As the great Jim Rohn once said, we must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is discipline weighs ounces while regrets weighs tons. End of quote. Right now you're suffering under the weight of a rigged game, but you don't have to keep playing by their rules. Now the story. Let me tell you about someone who discovered just how rigged the game really is and almost lost everything because of it. Picture this, mid 1990s, there's a young actor, early 30s, who's being called the most talented performer of his generation. He's got an Oscar nomination under his belt, magazine covers, critical acclaim, a face that belongs on movie posters, the kind of raw talent that makes veteran actors shake their heads in disbelief. But behind the curtain, he's discovered something that feels like a cheat code for life. Drugs, alcohol, instant pleasure, instant relief, instant dopamine flooding his system whenever he wants it. He doesn't realize it yet, but he's found the most rigged version of the dopamine game that exists. And the house is about to collect. 1996, he's arrested. Cocaine, heroin, an unloaded 357 Magnum in his car. But he's talented enough that Hollywood looks the other way. They give him another chance. Then a month later, he's found passed out in a neighbor's home. Arrested again. 1997, he's court ordered to drug testing. He misses the test, goes to jail, gets out, promises he's changed. 1999, he admits to missing multiple drug tests during a probation hearing. The judge sentences him to 3 years in prison. He serves a full year in California State Prison at Corcoran, one of the toughest facilities in the state. 2000, he's released early. Within months, lands a major role on the hit TV show Ally McBeal. He's Emmy nominated. He wins a Golden Globe. His character is saving the show's rating. Then arrested again in November at a hotel in Palm Springs. Cocaine, Valium. The show fires him. The game is collecting its debts. 2001, this is where it gets dark. In April, while on parole, he's found wandering barefoot through Culver City, completely disoriented under the influence. His wife has left him, taken their son. He's lost his family, his career, everything. At this point, Hollywood has made its decision. He's uninsurable. No studio will touch him. No insurance company will cover him. His career, once worth tens of millions, is worth zero. He's been to rehab multiple times. It hasn't worked. The game has beaten him. But here's what he realizes sitting in that jail cell, all alone at rock bottom. The game was rigged from the start. The drugs weren't giving him pleasure. They were just pulling the dopamine lever in his brain artificially. They were hacking his limbic system, flooding it with so much dopamine that his prefrontal cortex never stood a chance. His primitive brain was running the entire show, and it was screaming for more, more, more. He was a rat in a cage, pressing the lever over and over again for instant gratification. And in that moment, he makes a choice. He's going to stop playing their game and start playing his own. He gets out and rebuilds everything from zero. But this time he understands the rules. He knows the game is rigged, so he rigs it back in his favor. He starts training in Wing Chun martial arts 3 hours a day, every day. Not because it's easy, because it's hard. Because earned dopamine from discipline is the only thing that can compete with the cheap stuff. Yoga, meditation, therapy, cold exposure. He's rewiring his brain, strengthening his prefrontal cortex, teaching his CEO to overpower his caveman. But here's the thing, for years, nobody will hire him. He's toxic, he is a liability. The industry has written him off. He keeps training anyway. Every single day is a battle. His limbic system is screaming at him to go back to the easy dopamine. His prefrontal cortex is whispering, not today. Today we do the hard thing. Then in 2008, a director named Jon Favreau takes a massive gamble. He gives him one shot, one role, a character who's brilliant, self-destructive, and trying to become something better, a character who's almost autobiographical. The character, a billionaire genius weapons manufacturer who has a death experience, realizes he's been living wrong and builds a high-tech suit of armor to protect others and become a hero. Tony Stark, Iron Man, a man who literally builds himself a second chance, piece by piece. The actor, Robert Downey Jr., and the rest is history. He doesn't just come back, he becomes the highest paid actor in the world. He becomes the foundation of a multi-billion-dollar franchise. He turns his story from cautionary tale into legend. But here's what matters. Robert figured out the game was rigged, and he chose to rig it back. Every day he loaded his environment with earned dopamine, hard training, discipline, purpose, so the cheap dopamine couldn't compete. He stopped being a player in their game and started being the house in his own. As he said years later, I think that we all do heroic things, but hero is not a noun, it's a verb. End of quote. Beating a rigged game isn't about one big moment. It's about daily action. It's about understanding how they rigged it and rigging it back in your favor. Here are 3 methods to win the dopamine game. So, how do you beat a rigged game? You don't play fair, you rig it back. Here are 3 methods to stack the deck in your favor. Method 1, the dopamine detox. Once a week, pick one day where you cut out all the rigged sources. No social media, no junk food, no mindless scrolling, no video games, nothing they've engineered to hook you. This isn't about punishment, this is about revealing the rig. When you remove their weapons for 24 hours, you'll feel exactly how dependent you've become. You'll see the invisible strings they've attached to your limbic system. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Start with one day, then increase. You're not just building discipline, you're exposing the con. Method number 2, the 10-minute rule. Every time you feel the urge for a cheap dopamine hit, scrolling, snacking, procrastinating, set a timer for 10 minutes and do nothing. Just sit there. Don't fight the craving, but don't give in either. Here's what this does. Those urges, that's the rigged system activating. That's the algorithm in your brain that they installed. But urges are like waves. They peak and then they pass. After 10 minutes, the wave crashes. The rig loses its power and your prefrontal cortex gets stronger. You're literally debugging the code that they installed in your brain, one 10-minute session at a time. Method number 3, stack your wins. Here's how you rig the game in your favor. You flood your system with earned dopamine. Design your day to stack small wins. Make your bed, that's a win. Do 20 push-ups, that's a win. Finish one focused work session, that's a win. Each win releases real dopamine, not the engineered garbage from a notification, but the deep, satisfying dopamine of genuine achievement. And here's the magic. Real dopamine builds your prefrontal cortex. It makes you stronger. You're literally installing your own algorithm, one that rewards hard things instead of easy things. As Aristotle once said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. End quote. You want to beat a rigged game? Rig your habits to make you excellent. The challenge. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, I want you to become a detective. Track every time the rigged game wins, every scroll, every binge, every cheap hit. Write it down, map the con, and then I want you to implement just one of these methods. Just one. Pick the easiest one and commit for 7 days, because here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Your life right now is the result of playing a rigged game by their rules. Your focus, your discipline, your potential, they are all casualties of a system designed to extract value from you while giving you nothing in return. You think you don't have time? You're spending 3 hours a day playing their game. You think you can focus? They've installed 50 interruption points in your day. You think you lack discipline? You've been fighting a rigged fight with no one telling you the rules. But now you know. The game is rigged. The algorithms are real. The manipulation is intentional. And the only way to win a rigged game is to stop playing by their rules and start rigging it yourself. Muhammad Ali once said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." End quote. The dopamine game is rigged against you. The house always wins unless you become the house. So stop playing their game. Start rigging your own. If this exposed something for you, like this video, subscribe and share it with someone who's still playing by their rules. Let's build an army of people who refuse to be a lab rat in someone else's experiment. Now click the video that appears on your screen. They rig the game to break you. You rig it back to build you. Now go become unstoppable.